Hello and welcome to another... Wait, why is the camera up there instead of there normally? Because we're doing another collection video! Where we will finally be covering the third layer of our collection. But first, we got to talk about all the stuff on the first two that we didn't cover last time, either because we didn't have it yet or because we forgot to mention it. Oops.
We did it again.
Let's go.
Copyright strike.
Let's see what we got here. We've got an SRS movie, Armageddon Apocalypse King.
We have no idea what it's about.
I assume it's low budget, but most of the Western-made SRS movies tend to be, which is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Just people having fun, mostly. Let's see. I've got my phone to give me a good indicator of what I haven't talked about, which brings us to Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2.
Is it truly the final season if it's a part 2?
Philosophical questions, folks.
We ask the hard questions here at Gamezillong.
I'm still waiting for part 3 of the final season to come out, though. Let's see. We've got Batman, the Doom That Came to Gotham. Though I don't know if it's actually kaiju or just Lovecraft inspired.
Cthulhu.
I mean, it might be kaiju because looks like Cthulhu in the background there. Look at his eye.
Okay.
Set that down while
Zamazenta.
We've got... We've got The Big Guy and Rusty, the Boy Robot cartoon adaptation.
Dun, dun, dun.
I've also read the original 2-issue comic. Pretty good. Cartoons are quite a bit different, but...
For the love of Mike.
We've also got The Big O.
Dum, dum, dum,
I actually watched through this the past couple weeks. Still solid. We've got Blue Beetle, a criminally undermarketed DC movie, which is kind of ironic given that the whole point of the movie is that it's about a minority family who are down on their luck. And this movie...
And one of them gets some powers and becomes a superhero.
And it didn't get a big marketing push, probably for that very same reason. The irony.
Irony. Oh. Well, that was...
We've got Blue Gender, which, despite the fact that the DVD says it's TV PG, it really isn't. This is definitely like an MA.
So you're saying they lied to us?
No, I'm saying that they edited it down for television, and Funimation decided to go with the TV rating. It's still fairly good, though. Next, we've got the classic Tokusatsu collection, which contains 7 Tokusatsu movies of varying types.
Oh my god. They might be terrible, but they could be really good. I don't know.
We've got Invasion of the Neptune Men, which did get adapted with its sequel into another movie of the same name. So, this contains half of what's available with an English dub.
Oh, really?
You've got Dragon Showdown, a.k.a. The Magic Serpent, which is a ninja movie with Jiraiya. Classic ninja.
Okay, not the draw you're probably thinking about.
No. We've got Watari the Ninja Boy, another ninja tokusatsu movie. Ninja Scope, another ninja tokusatsu movie, though this one is actually Kamen Ninja Akakage, which is a even more retro tokusatsu show.
Oh, okay.
Than you might anticipate. Then we've got The Prince of Space. No, wait, this one was the one that was adapted with its second movie. So it's less available on this than it is in the English dub. I got the two confused. To be fair, the reason I got these two confused is that the DVD I've got that has the English dubs contains both of these.
Okay.
So and then we've got Golden Ninja, which has nothing to do with ninjas. It's actually Golden Bat, but marketing.
Bat.
Classic tokusatsu hero there. Classic hero in general.
He's got a skull for a face.
And then it's also got A Terror Beneath the Sea, which is just more of a sci-fi movie. Not hero, not ninjas, not giant monsters, just a general tokusatsu movie.
Tokusatsu. Chop suey.
Good song. We've got Curse of the Kraken, which is an okay movie. We watched that.
Yep.
Good Chinese movie. This one is, I know for a fact, one that we didn't cover last time. That was on the set when we were filming, and I just completely forgot to cover it. That's on me.
You failed. You got 3 cameras.
Let's see. Put these cameras back.
Yeah, you put that one in the corner. He's in timeout. He's so bulky. Dun, 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 dun,
How did I get all these in here?
Forced them. You thought you'd never have to move them again.
Clearly I was wrong.
Like always. Now we just film Protomet struggle trying to get 3 cameras in this one spot.
I almost had it, too. There. Well, this one will be significantly easier to move stuff around. Oh no, Suko fell.
With his rock.
Let's see, we've got Digimon Adventure, the original Japanese version, as opposed to the English dub, which is also available on Blu-ray. Still solid. And since we're on the topic of Digimon,
Well, you effed that up.
just like Digimon Adventure 2, the beginning. That's a joke. I haven't actually seen this movie yet. I'm waiting to finish up Ghost Game, which I just started today. So then I'll get around to it. It took me years to get to Last Evolution Kizuno, which is regrettable. Because that one movie was pretty good. That was a peak film.
Peak. So it peaked? No, it was good. No, it peaked.
Peekaboo. Let's see, we've got Dinosaurs from Hanna-Barbera / Walt Disney. If you don't think this is a tokusatsu show, you're wrong, because everybody's wearing costumes. It's got plenty of special effects. It's totally tokusatsu. Totally. You're wrong to think otherwise.
Dum 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 dum. Oh my goodness, I just noticed.
I can't remember if we talked about the fact that we have the complete series on Blu-ray now. I did get around to watching it earlier this year. The English dub is
There.
it's there. I think the voice actors do a good job of portraying the characters of age that they are, but I still prefer the ADV version. But that's down to preferences. But I'll get everything back up onto the set, because now we're moving over. Just lay down for a bit. Because while we're on the topic of Evangelion, we have Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.11 Thrice Upon a Time. Try saying that 7 times fast.
I refuse.
Good boy. I have not yet seen this one, but this is the 4th and final rebuild of Evangelion movie. So, it's a thing. Next up, we have Full Metal Panic, which I feel didn't need to have giant robots in it, but it does. It's a bit of a mixed bag, in my opinion. I do kind of want to check out some of its sequels, but it's a thing.
They might consider you a thing.
We've got Gappa the Triphibian Monster, which I'm pretty sure last time we talked about Monster from a Prehistoric Planet. This is that movie, but with the original Japanese language version in addition to the English dub. So, yeah. Oh. Move all past this one. I gotta put everybody back up now. Get them all standing.
But no.
At some point we're gonna do another toy collection video. I just need to figure out what we've all done before. You guys can all take a nap. Giant Robo, the animation. The Day the Earth Stood Still. This series is fucking epic. Highly recommend.
Okay.
Must watch. We've got Gigabash, which I've actually done a video talking about a couple months back. It's a fine enough arena fighting game. I may have some complaints, but that's mostly down to personal preference rather than anything else.
No one wanted to play with you. Oh, shit. All jokes.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling through all the Godzilla stuff that we don't have up here. Alright, now we move over here. We've got another SRS release. This time it's Garage Heroes Gun Caliber, which I think it was more of a mini-series or something. I haven't actually watched it, but I do know it has nudity in it.
So you can't watch it at work?
Definitely not. Absolutely not.
That's files for termination right there.
Let's see, now we move on to what we had for Gundam, which wasn't a whole lot. We got, let's see, we've got Twilight Axis, Remains of the Red. I am still not entirely sure what the point of this is. Maybe I need to read the book or something.
You read?
Yes, I read a lot.
Well, I know you do.
I love reading. In fact, at some point we got to do a book video talking about all the books we have.
There's a lot.
There is a lot. Let's see. We've got Gundam Sen, which is a comedic series.
It looks chibi.
That's why I consider it part of the SD series. Because it is non-serious. We gotta move the big O over. Let's see, we've got Model Suit Gundam, Model Suit Gunpla Builders Beginning G. It's a confusing title, I know. This is actually the first of the Build series of animes. And it's forgettable. It's not that great. Like, it's just a 3-episode miniseries. It's... I feel that the later Gundam build stuff do a better job of hyping up Gunpla, to be honest.
Like build?
Like Build Fighters, Build Fighters Try, Build Divers Re-Rise. Not so much Build Divers, because that one's just like an MMO game.
They talk about scuba diving.
But Build Divers Re-Rise. Oof, absolutely. That was on my top 10 list for a reason. All right. I know last time we covered Guyver 2, but I have since gotten both of the original OVA releases of Guyver, the Bio-Boosted Armor. Or the Guyver Bio-Boosted Armor. As well as the 2000s remake, Guyver, the Bio-Boosted Armor. Which adapts more of the manga than the original OVA did. And...
oh, it's all good.
It's just a fan screeching. They're blinded.
By the light.
I've actually been, this entire year, rereading through the Guyver manga, and this stops far short of where I'm at. I really need to get around to getting the first live-action movie, because that movie was pretty good in terms of the special effects, and it did just recently get a re-release on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, and probably some other formats, but I do not have that yet. Hopefully by the next time we do one of these. Alright.
Okay. What's next, Kibo-sabi?
I am looking... Look. I know it's ticked off on here, but I can't remember if we talked about the fact that we've got Jurassic Park Dominion here. This movie is terrible. I watched it earlier this year, and it was a huge disappointment. But we've got Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection, which features a number of old Jurassic Park games. None of which are tied into the Lost World or any movies that came afterwards. These are all ones that came out around and just after the release of the original Jurassic Park movie.
So 1, 2, and 3.
Well, it only goes up to 2.
Rawr.
The chaos continues. So yeah, it's actually got like the various ports of some of the games. I remember when we were growing up, we had the NES game, and that is included on here. But it's also got some of the other ports, like the Game Boy, the Genesis. It doesn't actually say which consoles they were for there, outside of Rampage Edition, which was for Genesis. They either listed it as portable, 8-bit, 16-bit, and whatnot. So, still gotta get around to trying that collection from Limited Run Games. Alright, last time we talked about Kamen Rider Black. Since then I've picked up Kamen Rider Black RX, which is the not as good sequel. It's not terrible, but it's not black. And it's certainly way better than Masked Rider.
Masked Rider sucks. Hashtag Masked Rider sucks. Don't Americanize things that are already good.
Unless it's Power Rangers.
Yes.
Then you can probably... We've got Kamen Rider Geats, which is the most recent Kamen Rider Blu-ray release. Unfortunately, it doesn't include any of the movies, which means that some moments in the show come across as kind of confusing or dangling plot thready, which is quite unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
All right. We're nearly done with
this shelf?
with these shelves. We've got King Kong Lives, which is the only King Kong movie in our collection that wasn't showcased last time. Took a while for this to actually become available, but it finally did.
Because it was super expensive.
Except when I bought it. Then I bought it when it was not super expensive.
Yeah, but each time we checked, it was super expensive.
Except for this time.
Draw near.
And then, not so much a traditional tokusatsu movie. We've got The Legend of the Stardust Brothers, which honestly feels like a compilation of a bunch of music videos compiled into a movie, The Wall style.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
We had a lot of fun watching this movie. This was a really fun movie. Check it out.
Literally, we thought it was more tokusatsu because we saw, like, people with dinosaur heads. And then that was just like a drug trip.
Yeah, a lot of the special effects in this movie show up in the trailer for it. So, but it's still worth a watch. I still gotta convince my brothers to check it out. I will force them to watch it someday.
So even though you have to tie them to a chair as they sit and watch,
They will thank me for it.
or they might not have the same sense of humor as us.
One of the two. We've got Meg 2, the Meg 2, or Meg 2, the Trench.
The Mariana Trench.
We haven't watched this movie yet.
That hurt.
Now, last time we talked about the fact that we've technically got Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus on there.
Yeah, it's the Godzilla versus Biollante takes over the whole main screen.
And considering the fact that we have copies of both Monster and Godzilla vs. Biollante separately,
Yep.
I had considered replacing it with a DVD when I bought these two. We've got Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, which is its sequel, and which features Jaleel White, Urkel. And then we've got Mega Shark vs. Mecha Shark, Monster vs. Metal. I think that's just a tagline on the cover. But it does have Kratos from God of War and God of War Ragnarok.
The camera is focused on the wrong character.
For more about
Chris, trying to think of
Christopher Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was also in Stargate SG-1. That's what I recognize him most from. But for more information about this movie, wait a week.
Irony.
Let's see. And to rip off the Meg, we've got Megalodon Rising and Megalodon the Frenzy. Both of which are done by the Asylum, just like the Mega Shark movies. But these are not Mega Shark movies, despite having similarly giant-sized sharks, which they probably reused
The effects?
the CGI models for.
Oh, probably.
We haven't watched these yet. Can't confirm, but I'm making an educated guess.
It could be wrong.
It could be. Alright. We've got Space Sheriff Sherivan, the sequel to Space Sheriff Gavin.
It's a VR trooper.
It's a not VR trooper. That's a next season that became a VR trooper.
Oh.
Still no word on whether that's coming out, though I do know that one of the later non-VR troopers / Beetleborg seasons, Mobile Cop G-Bon, that is available on coming out on Blu-ray. I have already pre-ordered it, so that will be available by the next time we do one of these. I'm looking forward to it.
Coming from the guy who doesn't have to hold the camera. Oh, I kid. It's not that
And then we
bad.
finally start on the third set, but we're not quite done with the new stuff. We've got Monsternado.
Jesus.
I'm actually trying to see if that's an Asylum movie or not. No, it is not an Asylum movie. I'm not seeing the Asylum anywhere on this packaging.
They would usually have it on like the corner.
Well, I was checking the back where it has all the logos on there.
Yeah, it's not on there.
So this is some other Sharknado-esque ripoff of some sort. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. We got Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, which I actually got after Tank did. He got his around the time that it released. He actually got it before it was officially released. He was lucky to find it already.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was out.
That's because technically it wasn't yet. He got lucky.
They were in stores.
But now I have a copy. I just picked this up just a couple days ago.
Nana boo.
Good movie. good fun movie. We've got Night of the
Lupus.
Lepus. It's about giant rabbits. And it's got DeForest Kelly from Star Trek, which I've actually been watching quite a bit of lately. So. And now, with that, we can finally move on to the rest of this stuff without having to check for everything.
Owie.
We don't need this list anymore. I can put it away. Because everything on these shelves is stuff we haven't covered yet. Unless we have. But I'm not going to bother looking. Now, admittedly, when we left off, we were going to start on Power Rangers. But we've got Mobile Police Pat Labor to talk about first. Cops with giant robots. Ooh. It's funny.
Checks out.
I really need to lend this to Brian because it is worth watching. It's got the original OVA series. It's got the 3 movies. It's got the television series. It's got the second OVA series, which is a sequel to the television series. And the television series and the second OVA are the separate continuity from the first OVA and the 3 movies. It doesn't, however, include any of the live-action content.
Huh.
So, Next Generation Pat Labor is not available in the U.S. And that's actually how I got into Pat Labor. I watched the live-action series and then went back and watched the anime stuff. It's a good representation. And now we've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Volume 1, Season 1, Volume 2, Season 2, Volume 1, Season 2, Volume 2, and Season 3. But in the midst of it all, we've got Power Rangers Super Samurai, Christmas Witch, which is a compilation of Christmas episodes, including Alpha's Magical Christmas.
We already discussed that.
We did discuss that. And Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, which I should probably get a Blu-ray copy of, just so that I have a higher quality version of this movie. This is a fun movie.
Yeah, it is.
Even if it's not canon. Moving on, we've got Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers, which only has one disc because it was like 10 episodes.
Yep.
And only like 8 of them actually had the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers title. The first 2 were just still marketed as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But next we've got Power Rangers Zeo and Zeo.
Go
Volumes 1 and 2.
Zeo.
Kick-ass opening theme.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic show. Great follow-up to the original series. We've got Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. The one movie out of all 3 of the movies that is actually canon to the TV show. And this is a must-watch if you want to understand how we get to Power Rangers Turbo. Why anybody would want to watch Power Rangers Turbo is beyond me because it's terrible, unless you're trying to figure out how we got from Zeo to in space.
Spoiler warning. In the end of Turbo, the bad guys technically win.
Yes. I've actually started watching this show again because I got to review it in a couple months. Look forward to that. We've also got volume 2 of that.
Lack of oxygen down here.
All right, from here on, we're talking like solid individual seasons. We've got Lost Galaxy, which is the first non-Zordon era season of Power Rangers. Good watch.
Oh, yeah.
Entertaining.
It's good in its own right.
And Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Good show. Good show.
Also another good theme.
And Power Rangers Time Force.
Time Force.
This is the best ever.
It's very good.
This is seriously my favorite season of Power Rangers. It does a fantastic job with what it's going for. Power Rangers Wild Force is tainted by the fact that its lead character is a murderer.
I try not to hold that against the show, but it's hard.
This was certainly well before that,
Yeah.
thankfully. Not as good adaptation of its Sentai counterpart, to be honest. It's also, I want to say, along with Time Force, the first 2 seasons to actually stick pretty close to their Sentai originals. The Power Rangers Ninja Storm is marred by the fact that its lead character was
Suicidal.
a domestic abuser.
Oh.
That was confirmed in a court of law after he passed away.
Oh, okay.
Dino Thunder, on the other hand, is just great.
And the last Tommy Oliver
Or at least
season.
last season to have Tommy
as a regular.
He did show up in a few later stuff, but
Yeah, and mostly anniversary things.
Power Rangers SBD.
I really enjoyed this one.
This one was a fun one. I'm willing to accept it.
Their base turned into a giant Megazord.
Power Rangers Mystic Force, on the other hand,
Let's throw that one away.
Operation Overdrive.
I love it.
I know that quite a few people didn't care for this season, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. It got a video game adaptation in the form of Power Rangers Super Legends, which is a basic beat 'em up. A basic platformer beat 'em up. It's fine. Also, apparently a lot of the console versions just lack one of the boss fights.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Strange.
it's just Power Rangers Jungle Fury.
It's good in its own right, but I've seen better. But still fun.
Power Rangers RPM. This is like in competition with Time Force for one of my favorite seasons. I love the fact that they took a goofy season of Super Sentai and turned it into a dystopian story. And it's done incredibly well. Oh, can I twist my neck? We've got Power Rangers Samurai, the complete season, except not really because it's missing its Halloween and Christmas episodes, which are included here, along with some other handful of episodes. We've got Power Rangers Super Samurai, the complete season, which is, again, a lie.
Now we're starting with the supers.
Yeah, this was the Neo Saban era where they decided to start adding the word super to the titles of all their sequel seasons. This season is, like Samurai, not actually complete and not terribly good, which is bizarre because I consider its Sentai counterpart to be one of my favorite seasons, and Power Rangers sticks to it very closely, but it sucks. We've got Power Rangers Clash of the Red Rangers, which is a tie-in to Super Samurai.
Isn't it when the girl ends up showing up?
No, that takes place towards the end of Super Samurai proper. This one was an adaptation of the Go Onja versus Shinkenger crossover movie. Minus the... Oh, wait, never mind. I was going to mention something that is completely irrelevant to the movie. Just going to lay on my side this entire time as we move along, considering how low to the ground we're getting.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've got Trickster Treat, which contains the Christmas episode of Super Samurai.
Very Halloween-y.
Sorry, it's the Halloween. It contains the Halloween episode, not the Christmas episode. Christmas episode was, we already talked about going back in Mighty Morphin. We've got Power Rangers Megaforce, which I thought was a pretty okay season.
It was alright.
It, again, doesn't include all of its episodes, because we've got the Christmas episode, and I'm pretty sure the Halloween episode is one.
That character looks very Kamen Rider or Garo looking.
That's a coincidence because he is Sentai. Slash Power Rangers.
Okay. Next. Okay.
We've got Power Rangers Super Mega Force. This show sucks.
Yeah. They tried to save it with the ending.
Wasn't enough.
No, it didn't.
We've got Power Rangers Dino Charge and its sequel Dino Supercharge.
They switch it around.
I'm pretty sure these also don't include their Halloween/Christmas episodes. I might be wrong, but these are solid. Those are solid entries.
Okay. Okay.
Power Rangers Ninja Steel.
It was all right.
I enjoyed it, along with Super Ninja Steel. Along with Super Ninja Steel, I feel that these were actually incredibly solid adaptations of their incredibly lackluster Sentai counterparts. I hate Ninja.
Oh, wow. And now we have
Power Rangers.
The Saban attempt for the reboot here.
There was an attempt to remake Power Rangers as a movie franchise. There was even sequel bait right at the end and talks of a sequel, and all we got was a comic book.
Yep.
Good movie, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, now we get...
Unfortunately, we don't have any of the post-Neo Saban era seasons, but instead we've got the video game Power Rangers Battle for the Grid Super Edition, which features some of the DLC packs for the game, which include the Ryu and Chun-Li characters.
Yep.
This is ostensibly an adaptation of the Shattered Grid storyline from the comics.
Yep.
From Boom Studio, which was a good storyline.
Oh, yeah. And we are done with Power Rangers at this point in time now.
We've got Princess Mononoke, one of the Studio Ghibli movies. Pretty sure last time we talked about Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, that was the last one.
Which was technically the first Studio Ghibli movie because they made it before Studio Ghibli even existed. And this one's a solid movie. Now we've got the controversial Pulgasari. This is very likely a bootleg disc. I don't care. Because
it's okay.
This movie was made at the behest of Kim Jong-il. And the guy who made it had been kidnapped to make it. It's Q, the Winged Serpent, or just simply Q. This David Carradine movie is a great kaiju film that we have talked about back in our kaiju review days.
Yeah. I think it was one of our first ones that we did.
No, I don't think it was one of the first, but it was early enough.
Queen Crab.
This movie is fun.
Yep.
Giant crab movie. Doesn't take itself too seriously. We've got the Raiga trilogy, starting with Raiga, King of the Sea Monsters, which originally released in Japan as Deep Sea Monster Raigo versus Battleship Yamato.
Yep.
Then we've got Raiga, God of the Monsters, which is clearly just named that to cash in on the fact that Godzilla King of the Monsters can't come out recently.
Yep.
It was otherwise called Deep Sea Monster Raiga. And then we've got we've got God Raiga versus King Orga.
This was the weakest of all the three.
Yeah, admittedly, you could tell that this one had even more of a shoestring budget than the other two. But I think it was like crowdfunded, so. Next, we've got Rampage, which was the straw that broke the camel's back for kaiju review, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was. We kept trying. They kept giving us strikes.
So we were like,
all right, we're going to a podcast.
which is a shame because this is a really fun movie. Not a terribly accurate adaptation of the games, but still a fun movie. Next, we've got Reptilicus, which spawned a comic book series so bad that it ended after 2 issues and was retitled, and then didn't last for very long after that. Movie's okay, though.
Well, we'll have to find out.
We've watched it before.
Oh, have we?
Yes.
Now we gotta go down there? Or do we have everything?
We gotta move over. We gotta move this chair. Oh, if only you could see what was going on.
Okay.
We've got Robot Wars. This was a fun mecha movie.
Yeah.
Chodenji Machine Voltus 5.
Do you have the live action one?
No, they do not have a U.S. an adaptation for that here in the. They don't have a physical release here in the U.S. for that, and I want to check it out because
Yeah.
that was actually how I got into this. I covered briefly how I mentioned that in when I did my first impressions video, the first episode of the live action series. A lot of people really suggested I check this out, so I did. And yeah, no, it's good. Really popular in the Philippines for reasons that I go into when I talked about that a few months ago. I'll not regurgitate it here. Go watch that video. First, we've got Robotech Part 1, the Macross series saga, which is an adaptation of Super Dimension Fortress Macross, but edited a bit towards the end to tie it in with the 2 other non-Macross shows that make up Macross Parts 2 and 3, which I haven't seen yet. This one's fine, but unfortunately it's one of the main reasons why we have yet to get much of any Macross content that isn't automatically rebranded to Robotech,
Okay.
which is a shame, because it's got some good stuff. And Delta. I hate Delta. We've got Rugrats in Paris, the movie, the second Rugrats movie. It has a Reptar mecha in it.
And it takes on like a big crab thing, I think.
I do not remember exactly.
I don't remember either.
Admittedly, the focus is more on the babies and their adventures in Paris.
Rumble.
This is a kaiju wrestling movie based on a book that I can't remember the title of. It certainly wasn't Rumble, but we haven't watched this one yet.
A lot of them are voiced by actual wrestlers.
Oh, nice. Shadow of the Colossus, a kaiju-esque
Video game.
climbing simulator.
Technically, yeah, if you think about it.
It's a fine enough game. I've covered this on our gaming show, and I'm just not a huge fan of it, but that's only because I expect other stuff. We've got Shin-Chan, Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation of the Endless 7-Day Journey, which has dinosaurs in it.
Oh, okay.
See? Right there.
I'm not zooming in.
I haven't yet checked this one out, but I know that it's by the same guys who did Attack of the Saturday Night Monsters, which is another even more tokusatsu influenced game. I do have that on my 3DS, so I'll have to give it a shot one of these days. Next, we've got The Skull Man, based on Shotaro Ishinomori's one-shot, which was in part inspired by the creative process of Kamen Rider. This anime is a drastically different take on it, and unfortunately, while it says complete collection on here, it does not include the Tokusatsu prologue chapter. So that's a bit of a disappointment, but an okay show. Snake Out of Compton. This is proof that parody movies aren't dead.
Snake Out of Compton. Yeah, this is a weird movie.
This is like a disaster movie, or not Remember the Titans, Meet the Spartans.
Yeah.
The scary movies.
Parodies of
a bunch of movies all at once. It's a fine film. It gets weird at places, but we've got Snow Monster versus Ice Shark, which I initially didn't realize was unrelated to, was the same movie as just Snow Monster, which I found on YouTube. But this is, they decided to add versus Ice Shark into it to imply that there's some big rivalry between the two. And it amounts to one scene, and the Ice Shark loses handily.
Very. Shows up again, though.
A Space Monster Wanmagwi, a previously lost Korean film. This movie is hilarious. We had a lot of fun watching this movie. We would strongly recommend checking it out. Another pretty fun movie, and a bit scary. It's a Stung.
Yeah, just a bunch of
giant wasps. And just the fact that it's giant wasps is that should give you how scary it is. We've got The Suicide Squad. Not to be confused with Suicide Squad. That movie sucks from what I understand. It sucks so bad I don't even want to watch it. But this one, I'll watch it whenever I can. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Next we've got Sukeban Deka, the movie, which is technically an epilogue to Sukeban Deka 2, The Girl in the Iron Mask, or Legend of the Iron Mask, or whatever it is. But it's...
There's no Iron Mask. She has a yo-yo.
But she starts off the series wearing an iron mask, which went on to inspire Joggy from Fist of the North Star.
Okay. I'll allow it.
But this is actually a really good movie. I strongly recommend checking it out, especially if you've watched Sukeban Deka 2. It does take place during the events of Sukeban Deka 3, which brings us to Sukeban Deka 2, Counterattack of the Kazuma Sisters, which also takes place during the third season. This one's fine. It's not the first one, but it's fine.
Okay. Okay, get it off the Zoom again. Okay. Oh, my knees were dying.
Now, if things had gone my way, I would also have a copy of Yo-Yo Cop Girl, Yo-Yo Girl Cop, which is a remake of Sukeban Deka. But unfortunately, both discs that I got off Amazon, you could not finish watching the movie because it would glitch out during the third act. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to omit that when I talk about Sukeban Deka later this year.
I honestly, I never finished it. I never finished it.
I did manage to find a way to finish watching the movie, and it's a fine enough movie if a bit over the top and a bit grittier than the original show, but I'm okay with that.
You know, they're just going to be laughing that this whole segment, you are just laying on the floor.
I don't care, because it's a bit more comfortable than hunching over the entire time. Next, we've got Super Force, a CBS television series that I saw a trailer for it, and somebody compared it to the Rescue Police trilogy of the Metal Heroes franchise. And yeah, that's a pretty apt comparison for the first season. The second season takes an absolutely nosedive in quality, though. First season is absolutely great. Second season is terrible. It is a stark contrast.
We are down to 2 bars on the battery.
Down to 2 bars. Well, considering how much we've done so far, we can keep going.
Yep.
Next, we've got the Starman quadrilogy. We've got Invaders from Space, Atomic Rulers, Attack from Space, and Evil Brain from Outer Space, which are all combinations of the 7, 8, 9 Supergiant movies from Japan. Basically, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch all 4 of these movies. They're fine. They're fun. They're okay.
The Supergiant series?
Yes.
Or collection, I should say.
Starman, Supergiant, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We've got Super Legend God Hikoza. We haven't watched this one yet, but I'm interested in checking out. I think this is
Too far. Zoomed in too far.
Oh yes, this movie was produced by Minoru Kawasaki, who has done a number of indie tokusatsu stuff. If you've ever seen Den Ace, it's the same guy who did that. Pretty sure he's the same guy responsible for for Monster Seafood Wars. I might be wrong. We haven't watched that one yet, but we did cover it in the last collection video, huh?
Hey, we're not watching one of those movies that can make you fall asleep.
All right, now we're on to Super Sentai with the earliest season on Blu-ray or DVD, Chikyu Sentai 5-Man, which quite a few people complained about it reusing elements from other past seasons of Super Sentai, and that's because this was the last season done by one particular writer.
Okay.
So it's fine. I think he had some better seasons. This is Chojin Sentai Jetman, which is one of my 2 favorite seasons of Super Sentai for very good reason. And it's written by the same guy who did Kamen Rider Phase, which is absolutely bizarre because I'm not a huge fan of that season. But I absolutely love this season. This is a solid season. Definitely check it out. It's a fan favorite. We've got Kyoryu Sentai Zoo Ranger, which was the first Super Sentai DVD set to get released in the US, to the point where they didn't even bother adding the Kyoryu Sentai to the title. They just called it Zoo Ranger. But this was the season that was used to make Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, albeit with some additional footage towards the end of that season's run. We've got Gosei Sentai Die Ranger, which was made to adapt...
Turbo.
It was later adapted into Mighty Morphin Season 2, minus the hero costumes. If you've seen Super Mega Force and you know the New Powers the first New Powers episode, that's where this is where those came from. The Squadron Rangers, I think they're called, or something. Next, we've got Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger, which was used
for
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3 and Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. Interesting fact, the Black Ranger here has appeared in a U.S. Ultraman show, which unfortunately I don't have, but it was pretty good. This season is pretty fun. It recently had... it's actually getting a 30th anniversary movie coming out real soon, so looking forward to that. Choriki Sentai O-Ranger.
Zio.
Yes. This one was a bit of a controversial season.
Why?
It started off with a super serious storyline and then rapidly devolved into comedy because of the sarin gas attacks that occurred at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you get quite a bit of tonal whiplash. Not a terrible season, but it could have been a lot better. Gekiso Sentai Car Ranger, which was used to make Power Rangers Turbo, is far better than Power Rangers Turbo. This is an absolutely goofy, fun series.
That time when I tried to zoom in, it got very glary.
Okay. This is a super fun season. Definitely worth checking out. Denju Sentai Mega Ranger, which was adapted into In Space, has little to do with space.
They're mostly on Earth.
They're high school students. This isn't even the first Super Sentai season to have high school students being the heroes. An earlier season did that, but what the Power Rangers does. Seiju Sentai Ginga Man. This one was adapted into Lost Galaxy. Has almost nothing to do with space. It has even less to do with space than Mega Ranger did. It actually is more of a mythical, magical season. QQ Sentai Go-Go 5. Yeah, no, this is a solid rescue season.
Cat wedding.
No, that's a bit later.
Oh.
Yeah, no, this one was made into Lightspeed Rescue. Mirai Sentai Time Ranger, not as good as Time Force.
Time Force.
But that's purely down to personal preference. This one is a solid season. And as you notice, it has 2 Red Rangers.
Yep.
Alright, get back up there. Hyakuju Sentai Gal Ranger, which is adapted into Wild Force. It's more or less a straight adaptation of this, except this completely lacks the subplot involving the Red Ranger's missing parents. So as a result, the season does not focus on him nearly as much as the Power Ranger season, which is a good thing. Solid season. Ninpu Sentai Hurricaneer, which for a while was the last season of Super Sentai to be released on DVD here in the US. Solid season. This one also recently had a 20th anniversary movie.
Wait, but there's more.
But it was also one of the first seasons to have a 10th anniversary season special. Next we've got Bakuryu Sentai Alba Ranger, which is adapted into Dino Thunder. And this is, for the most part, a pretty silly season, but it does have some pretty dark elements to it, to be honest. Fun series. This one also recently got a 20th anniversary special. Didn't get a 10th anniversary special, though. Now, Tokuso Sentai Decorator, Cat Wedding. This is a super solid season. I think this is getting yet another anniversary season or something. I know that there's a new movie coming out. It had a 10th anniversary special, a 20th anniversary special, and now we got like a 25th anniversary.
Jeez, this one was popular, damn.
It's a good reason. It is one of my favorite seasons. It's not quite on the same level as Jetman and Shinkenger, but...
No. Jetman's Jetman.
Next we've got Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack, which is a Switch game that uses the gyro controls for its controllers. It's definitely one that they recommend that you play in undocked mode. I have played it in docked mode, and I can definitely say I probably should have played it in undocked mode because it would have been a lot easier. I still gotta play through it, but this is a fun enough puzzle game. Physics-based puzzle game. Next we've got Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, which was Deke's attempt to rip off Power Rangers.
And they failed miserably.
Failed miserably. It got 40 episodes, which was 40 episodes too many, and it was really conflicted on what demographic it was aiming for. Next up, we've got Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, the second television series to feature the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this was clearly their attempt to rip off Power Rangers, which is kind of funny because this was co-produced by Saban. And is canon to the Power Rangers franchise.
Yeah, there's a crossover.
This is also canon to the live-action Ninja Turtle movies. Presumably it takes place after TMNT, which is a terrible movie. Pterodactyl! Well, that one was fun.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
We actually briefly talked about this movie yesterday.
I just like randomly brought it. I randomly brought it up. He was like, "Remember Pterodactyl?"
Yeah. The best way to describe this movie is graboids, but with sky creatures instead of stand dirt creatures.
Yep.
So if you like Tremors, you'll like that. We've got them.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, yeah, no, this is absolutely fantastic. I know the ants look ridiculous on the poster art here, but in movie they actually look pretty damn terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Solid movie. Anyway, on the topic of Tremors, we've got Tremors Attack Pack, which features the first 4 movies. Tremors, Tremors 2 Aftershocks, Tremors 3 Back to Perfection, and Tremors 4 The Legend Begins.
That's a prequel.
And then we've got Tremors the series, which relies less on graboids, but still is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it got canceled, and a lot of its episodes got reshuffled in their order. So
yeah, like if you watch it, like it's out of order big time.
We've got Tremor 5 Bloodlines, which is honestly, I think we're gonna agree this is the worst of the
yeah
of the
No,
movies.
no offense to Jamie Kennedy, but
it's definitely Jamie Kennedy's fault.
It's definitely Jamie Kennedy.
It's totally his fault that this movie is not that great. Michael Gross does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Tremors: Cold Day in Hell.
Now, I like how in this one they actually made the Tremor look actually different compared to the other graboids.
I think Bloodlines did something similar, but this one is definitely pretty well done. And
yeah.
For once, Jamie Kennedy didn't ruin this movie, even though he was in it.
He didn't save it in any way. The story was just actually good.
Yes. And then finally we have Tremors Shrieker Island, which is currently the most recent movie and definitely the last one to have Michael Gross in it.
Yeah, because
given how the movie ends. We will not spoil it, but it is very definitively his last movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tremors movie at least.
Yes.
Troll
Hunter. Now, this one is almost a documentary.
Yep, I actually kind of like it that way.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely does a fantastic job of coming across as a documentary about a guy you might consider crazy until you see him actually
fighting fucking trolls.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, yeah. Really solid movie. Message from Space. This is Star Wars. This is our Star Wars ripoff. There's no
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
It's not a bad movie, but it's definitely a
Star Wars is better.
Now, yes, yeah, definitely. Now you may be wondering, well, why do I have a Star Wars ripoff movie in this? And that is because I also have the television show, which is a tokusatsu series from Toei. This one is not a Star Wars ripoff.
No, it's not.
No, this one's pretty good. You haven't seen this one yet, Tank, but it's definitely not your traditional tokusatsu hero show, but
Did the hero become the villain?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it does kind of remind me a bit of Uchu Sentai Q Ranger. A bit in terms of its general plot.
We'd get a copyright.
And now, what caused me confusion towards the beginning of the video, we have Invasion of the Neptune Man and Prince of Space. These are the English dubs of those movies. Plus the English dub of the second Prince of Space movie. They're fine. Uktena, the horned monstrosity. This is another SRS release. I think it's cheap, but we haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Maybe it's better quality.
Ultra. You want a little break? We can stop here.
Yes, after a short break, we will be back to cover the rest of the Ultra series when I rest up. And we're back to 2 bars, apparently. Did a bit of recharging.
Yep.
And now it's time to get back on the ground and finish this up. I don't know why I put these back on the shelf. What is wrong with me?
Well, you didn't think at the time. I should probably get these off. Okay.
Alright, Ultra Q. Classic tokusatsu series that is evocative of the Twilight Zone. Definitely worth checking out.
I like it.
The Birth of Ultraman, which features a handful of English language episodes, as well as the original stage presentation that preceded Ultraman.
The Ultramans.
But yes, this features English dubbed episodes of Ultraman. This, however, is Japanese only, with subtitles though. So
Oh yeah.
missing out. And because I wanted more English language episodes in HD, we got the Secrets of the Rise of Ultraman, which I feel like it was probably named after the Marvel Comics Ultraman series that was coming out at the time. It actually does include a QR code telling you to check out the Trials of Ultraman comic. We've got Ultra 7, which does not include episode 12. Not episode 14, episode 12. The band episode.
It's not that bad of an episode,
Oh,
but
no, it's not.
I completely understand the reason why they took it. Had to, ban it.
Right. We've got The Return of Ultraman, which, despite the title, barely has the original Ultraman in it. This is the actual Ultraman Jack.
Yeah.
Not that you could tell from a glance. Have to really look close.
Jack.
Ultraman Ace, which features 2 protagonists, becoming 1 Ultraman. This one's a solid season. Ultraman Taro, featuring the son of father of Ultra. This one is more fantastical, but still a solid season.
I like it.
Ultraman Leo, which is personally my least favorite of the Showa era of Ultraman.
He's okay.
I get tonal whiplash watching it, to be honest.
Next.
Next we have the animated series, The Ultraman, which is a solid anime. It often gets overlooked by people who recognize the Netflix anime. But this...
That's completely different compared to
I
this.
have covered this on my show before. We've got Ultraman 80, which saw the return of Ultraman to television in live action. And as the name implies, it was 1980 by this point. It's a shame they couldn't keep that momentum going. Next, we've got Ultraman Kids.
Aw, that's adorable.
30 million light years in search of Mother, which is actually a pretty good animated series. Another Ultraman anime that gets overlooked. This is definitely a kids show, but it's still pretty fun. I watched it last year. We've got Ultraman Zeroth and Ultraman Zeroth 2. These movies are funny. Unfortunately, they don't include their English dubs.
So there's no subtitles? Oh, wait, no, there's subs.
We've got Ultraman Tigo, which was 1996's return of the franchise to television, and what a fantastic return it was. This is easily my favorite entry in the Ultra series, hands down. They tried to keep the momentum going with its immediate sequel, Ultraman Dyna, which features the a subsequent group of Earth defenders. I kind of feel like they lost their own plot at a lot of points in that show. And they tried to have it be more prominent and still kept forgetting that they had it. This is Ultraman Gaia, which Tsuburaya recognizes as being created by Chiaki Konaka, the same guy who did The Big O, Digimon Tamers, Serial Experiment Lane, and a bunch of other stuff, which I really got to check out. This one is a solid, thought-provoking, philosophical season of Ultraman.
It makes you think about it.
It really does, in a fantastic
In a good way.
Next we have Ultraman Neos, which was a straight-to-video series that was actually originally conceptualized prior to Tiga. This show was actually originally supposed to be Tiga, but
There's no purple.
Right. This was originally supposed to be the return of Ultraman that Tiga ended up taking, but I can honestly say that this direct-to-video series is not terrible, but it could have been better. Like Ultraman Cosmos was. This one was great. Unfortunately, a few episodes had to be barred from airing when it was originally broadcast because the star became the subject of a scandal.
A scandal, huh?
A scandal that actually went to court but was ultimately thrown out due to lack of evidence in the case. He was accused of assault.
Oh.
But again, lack of evidence. Ultraman Nexus, which also includes Ultraman the Next. This is one of the darkest entries in the Ultra series outside of the Heisei Ultra 7 series.
I hear that one's good.
The Heisei Ultra 7 is fantastic. Ultraman Nexus is a fantastic and dark interpretation. Definitely recommend that. Ultraman Max was a more lighthearted return to the classic Ultraman genre. And it's solid. It's got some good solid episodes. So for some reason, after watching it one time, I thought that a lot of its episodes were just rehashes of older episodes, and that isn't necessarily wrong, but it had a lot more original episodes than remakes. Speaking of remakes, this one, Ultraman Mebius, isn't. This is actually the then most recent entry in the Showa era Ultra series, despite coming out in Heisei. This show is canon to all the old Showa era shows up to from Ultra Q up to 80.
Okay.
And it is proud of that fact. It is a fantastic season. It also features some of the movies and some of the straight-to-video miniseries OVA stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Fantastic celebration of the classic era of Ultraman.
The Blu-ray sets.
Alright, now we've got Ultra 7X, not to be confused with Heisei Ultra 7. This was a darker take on Ultra 7, definitely intended for adults. And it's kind of forgettable. I mean, really the only thing I really remember about this is that it takes place in an alternate universe and was made for adults. And there was an episode that has the movie Psycho as a plot point, without ever actually mentioning the name of the movie. Next, we've got Mega Monster Battle, Never Ending Odyssey, and Ultra Galaxy Legend Mega Monster Battle, the movie. Or is it Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy Legends, the movie? I don't remember. Good show.
Good show, good movies.
Thank you for all the views when I covered this show. It surprised me how many enjoyed that.
You did a good job on it.
Superior 8 Ultra Brothers. I love this movie. I think this is my favorite Ultraman movie. A fantastic celebration of childhood ambition and dreams. Next, we've got Ultraman Zero. This is a bunch of the spin-off stuff featuring Ultraman Zero.
Ultraman Zero with a bunch of his movies.
Yeah, it's a collection of stuff. Let's see, we've got Neo Ultra Q, which is the third Ultra Q series. It's Ultra Q. I mean,
When you lent me this, I think I considered it a little bit darker than the couple other Ultra Qs.
fair enough.
I just got that vibe.
But yeah, no, this is definitely still the Japanese Twilight Zone.
Yeah, most definitely.
So yeah, definitely worth checking out, even if you've never seen any other Ultra Q stuff. Next, we've got Ultraman Ginga and Ultraman Ginga S. I definitely prefer S over Ginga standard. Also, it features the Ultra Fight Victory miniseries. We've got Ultraman X, complete series and movie combo. Solid series.
Very good series.
Not a personal favorite of mine, but Tank really enjoys it, I know. We've got Ultraman Orb, The Origin Saga, which is a Amazon Prime original that was acts as a prequel to Ultraman Orb. I prefer the TV series over Origin, but that's a personal preference.
Juggling juggler.
Yes. We've got Ultraman Zero: The Chronicle, which is one of the one of the few Ultraman Ritsuden esque shows that actually got a release outside of Japan. It's a clip series. And also the only way you can watch the Ultra Fight Zero miniseries in the US. Unfortunately. Because that one goes good. Ultraman Jade. This is a solid season.
Is this the one with Bel-El's son?
Yes.
Okay. Had to think for a second.
Yeah, it's a solid one. Next we've got Ultraman Rube. I'm not a huge fan of this season, but
Never heard of it.
yeah, I don't think I've gotten around to lending this one to you yet. It's about a pair of brothers who can become Ultramen.
Okay.
I feel like could have been better. Now that's the last of the Blu-rays for the TV shows. Although by the end of this month, I will have gotten Ultraman Taiga on Blu-ray because that recently got announced and up on pre-order. So looking forward to that. We've got Shin Ultraman. This is the Cleopatra release, which was rife with issues.
Yeah. Like you couldn't take the subtitles off, or the...
No, the subtitles were less translations of the Japanese version and were just subtitling the English dub.
Oh, that's right.
Also, there were like a couple technical errors here or there. I definitely managed to get the replacement disc, and hopefully I got the right replacement disc and not the second replacement disc, or not the first replacement disc. It's complicated.
Sure the hell sounds like it. He's fixing things.
Let's see, we've got Vampires. I'm not really sure how to best describe it outside of Power Rangers meets Transformers, but not in a good way. This one is a heavy CGI live action combination series that has characters that turn into cars. It is weird. It is not good. We've got Beautiful Joe for the GameCube. This one is fun. I really should check out the anime and the other video games, but this is actually that was actually my first encounter with the word henshin.
Henshin, huh?
Yeah, because his transformation phrase is henshin a go-go, baby. And we've got Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
Is that the original one?
Yes.
Because there's so many different Voltrons.
There are so many different Voltrons, and that is everything from this third level. We will get to the fourth level another time. All right, let's get to it.
Okay.
Okay. Psyched you out there, didn't I, audience? Now, we don't have a whole lot left to go for this. We'll just rush through it a bit. We've got Armored Trooper Zvodoms. This one is okay. Definitely a case of it focusing more on the characters than the machines, but I'll be honest, I want a scope dog model. The ending is kind of weird, though. We've got VR Troopers Seasons 1 and 2 across 4 DVD sets.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck getting your hands on these nowadays.
Oh God, they're out of print.
I think you can get one of the sets for fairly cheap on Amazon now, but the rest are out of print. Let's see, War of the God Monsters, which is infamous for just reusing footage from the Ultra series. I'm pretty sure this is a Korean movie. This is another SRS release. Warning from Space, which, despite the giant starfish thing on the cover, doesn't actually feature any giant starfish, just regular human-sized starfish.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointing. Let's see, The Water Horse, Legend of the Deep. We haven't watched this movie, but it's a Nessie movie.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
about the Loch Ness Monster or something. We're Back, a Dinosaur Story.
We watched it.
I don't know why, because this is just a regular dinosaur movie. I remember watching it as a kid.
Me
I
too.
can't really fondly remember it now because it's kind of bad. The Whale God, which is the Japanese version of Moby Dick. This is also pre-Gamera Dai, so
Okay.
definitely worth checking out. We've got When Horror Came to Shochiku, which is a 4-movie Criterion Eclipse collection featuring the X from outer space. That's not it. There we go. We recently covered this movie. It is not a good movie.
It's the sleep. It's been added to Protometh Sleep Collection.
But what hasn't been added to that collection is Monster X Strikes Back, Attack the G8 Summit, which is a really funny movie. Definitely not serious sequel to X from Outer Space. We've got Starfleet, which is a puppet series in the vein of Jerry Anderson's Thunderbirds. And this series was created by Go Nagai, the same guy who did Mazinger Z and Devilman.
Well, the Singer Z was good.
It also does have some Suitmation action in it. Next, we've got the Yokai Monsters collection, which features all 3 of the original Yokai Monsters movies, as well as the Great Yokai War. We have so far only watched the first 2 Yokai Monsters movies, but we're looking forward to watching the 3rd at some point. Both are solid.
They seem funny.
Then we've got the Great Yokai Wars Guardians, which is the 5th Yokai Monsters movie, a direct sequel to the Great Yokai War, and it also features the return of Daimajin. Oh, my neck.
Okay, let's get to the. We got
Yongari, a monster from the deep.
the only one that has a Y.
I have helped fund the creation of a toy based on this guy.
Yeah. And we can't wait to see him.
I've seen like some of the prototype stuff, and I'm pretty sure they did reach the final stretch goal to get all the accessories that they were going for. It's from the same company that I got the Gorgo figure from. That'll pop up in the next toy collection video whenever we make that.
Okay. All right.
And now
Z.
Now we reach the end of this. We've got Reptilian, the late 90s, early 2000s remake of Yongari. This is the second version of the film.
It's not very good.
And considering that that's the re-release, you can imagine how bad the first version was. Let's see, Yuzo, the biggest battle in Tokyo. We haven't seen this one yet.
Nope.
Zarkor the Invader.
Very good movie.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun watching this one. This one was one of our earliest kaiju review videos.
And one of our most acted.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun making that video. We don't get to do that very often anymore. We
No.
kind of lack the creativity. We got Iria, Zeram the Animation, which is a anime prequel to Zeram and Zeram 2 by Keita Amamiya. I absolutely love that guy's artistic design. He's the same guy who made the Garo franchise, and these are some solid movies. Iria, not quite so good, but it did recently get a Blu-ray release. So I guess if you want to check that out, go for it. Not for me though. The movies though, those are great. Zillafoot. This is an SRS independent movie. It looks cheap.
Very.
Oh, we've got Zone of the Enders Idolo, a prequel to the Zone of the Enders video game, which is right here.
Yeah,
The game is fine. The movie is good. We've got Zone of the Enders Dolores I, Volumes 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and 6. I actually just recently got around to watching these 3 because I'd been sitting on them for years. So, like, for years, I'd only watched, like, half the show. It's fine. It's a fine enough show.
Yep.
It does take place before and after the events of the game. Then we've got Zone of the Enders, the second runner, the sequel game. This one's fine. I recall it being a bit better than the first game. And unfortunately, I don't have the last Zone of the Enders game, the Game Boy Advance game, The Fists of Mars. But I did play that, and that was pretty fun. For a tactical RPG type game. I think it was more closer to like Advance Wars or such. I might be wrong. I may be misremembering. It's been over a decade since I played it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And with that, we have finished. We're done. This has been exhausting.
It has. Okay, but I'm the one sitting in the chair and he's the one laying on the ground. But it is what it is.
The next time we do one of these, it'll all be stuff that we'll have gotten after making this video, so it won't take nearly as long to get through them. Unless we just don't do it for like a year or 2.
There's a good possibility that might just have to happen.
Then it might take a while.
Yeah.
But for now, that is the last of our video collection. But not the last of our collection. We've still got plenty of toys we haven't yet talked about. We've got a bunch of books to cover.
But we'll get that in the future. So,
until next time, I'm Proto Matt.
I'm Tank. See ya.